My honorable colleagues, my name is Aliyu Sani Madaki, and I represent the good people of the Ala Federal Constituency of Kano State. Suspense over planned electricity tariff hike. The House note that recently distribution companies discourse alerted customers of a planned electricity tariff hike hinged on the multi-year tariff order, MYTO. Concern about the widespread apprehension in the country over the planned introduction of a new electricity tariff regime by distribution companies discourse. Also concerned that the recent statement by the Abuja Electricity Distribution Company directing its customers to disregard the earlier notice of the increase in the electricity tariff hike is confusing, as members of the public are confused as to what to believe. Further concerned that the proposed increase is coming despite the inability of the operators to meet the threshold of supplying at least 5,000 megawatt per year after signing the contract with the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, believes that it is most inappropriate and insensitive to come up with a price increase of such magnitude at this time when Nigerians are yet to come to terms with the increase in petroleum prices. Cognizance that the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended in section 16, 2B, has provided that the material resources of the nation be harnessed and distributed as best as possible to serve the common good. Worried that at this point in time, the proposed increment of electricity tariff by the discourse is not in the best interest of the average Nigerian citizen, neither is it for the common good of the citizenry. And also worried that the proposed increment is an exploitation of the common citizen, which is not in line with section 17(2)(d) of the Constitution, which states that exploitation of human resources in any form whatsoever for reasons other than the good of the community should be prevented. Resolved to urge the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, not to approve any increase in electricity tariff in Nigeria, and mandate the Committee on Power, when constituted, to interface with NERC with a view to finding a common ground to addressing the proposed hike in the interest of Nigerians. I so move, Mr. Speaker. This motion is hinged on the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as it is written in the body of the...
Sorry, like I said before, people should restrict movement here so that we can move forward. Later on we can deal with some of these files. Go ahead, Honorable Madaki.
Mr. Speaker, if you read the body of the motion, section 17, 2D.
On house, please.
And section 16, 2B.
The man with red cap, go back to your seat.
Let me read with your indulgence, Mr. Speaker. 16, 2B has provided that the material resources of the nation be harnessed and distributed as best as possible to serve the common good. Mr. Speaker, we all know today in Nigeria what we are facing from all our constituents, all of us seated here. Just yesterday, we woke up with the issue of increase in petroleum prices. This government is a government that listens to the people of Nigeria, that is brought to power by the people of Nigeria. And the president, the current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is known by everybody to be a progressive. And knowing that fully well, if you look at the salary of an average Nigerian who owns a car, who has a house or rent a house. Mr. Speaker, in a house of 5 bedrooms today in Abuja, you don't pay any still less than 100,000 for electricity every month. And about 6 months back, without telling anybody, this same agency went and increased the price. Mr. Speaker, before in my house, I used to buy the power supply of 100,000, which will give me 1,700 units. Now, if you buy 100,000, what it gives you is 1,300 units, which cannot take me and my family for a month. Then if you take that down to an ordinary Nigerian, what are we bringing? We came to power to bring succor to the Nigerian people. We are all here because of the people who sent us here.
Okay, your 1 minute is over. It has gone to 2-3
So
minutes.
in essence, I'm urging everybody here to support this motion with the speed of light for our constituents. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Madaki. The petroleum marketers not to increase price. And the House rules in unison and say, no, allow them. Allow the market forces play out. We are faced with another issue that is similar to that. Private sector engagement, market forces against government position. It's a very nice debate, nice topic. Let's ventilate it a little bit. Honorable Bamidele Salam, I want to hear from you, please.
Olumide Oshoba, representing Abeokuta North, Obafemi and Odeda Federal Constituency. I rise to speak on this very important motion. We all understand the hardship being faced by our compatriots Nigerians, but we need to be guided. Just a month ago, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assented to the electricity bill, which allowed unauthorized states, companies, individuals to generate and transmit power. What we need to do is, as a parliament, find a way to oversight that bill, make sure that the market forces and the indices that will be allowing companies generate and transmit electricity is put in place.
It's a privilege of the House. Should I explain?
Go ahead.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, you didn't call for debate.
Yes, I call for
When
amendment.
he started debating, not only debating, opposing, which should be the last under our rule. Motion should be, those who are for should canvass their argument, then those who are against after those have finished. And he just put.
So you are asking Honorable Jimmy to wait until it's time for debate?
Yes.
Thank you. Order is hereby suspended.
And if we are to debate,
Please sit down. Your order has been suspended.
of the motion.
Your order has been suspended.
Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues, I remain Baba Jimmy Benson. I represent the very good people of the Ikorodu Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I agree with what our honorable leader has said. However, I'm just saying that there's also a corresponding need to speak to the DISCOs and the GENCOs, who are private companies, in a bid to ameliorate the problems they are also having. Exchange rate has shot up from 300 official rate of 300 naira to the dollar. It is now close to 800 and something naira. They buy, infrastructure cost has gone up, diesel cost has gone up on their side as well. How do we make them comfortable so that they can sustain the present rate regime? That is what we are requesting for, sir. That we find a way of bringing the NEC on board and the DISCO, instead of having a fiat and saying don't increase permanently. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.
I remember
My honorable colleague, I remain Honorable Aliyu Sani Madaki, representing Balanga Billiri Federal Constituency from Gombe State. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion, and I advise us we handle it with care. As lawmakers, we represent our people, we represent every constituency. Few days ago, we discussed the issue of the increase in fuel across the country. While we acknowledge and appreciate the removal of subsidy, but Mr. Speaker, I also want to remind us that the main reason why we have government is to ensure that we do a good governance, to ensure that people are taken care of. Electricity increase, most of this, we agree some of them are private companies, but government have shares. Government is still discussing with labor and other organizations about the minimum wage. We have not concluded that. The issue of subsidy, the issue of palliative that have been approved, Nigerians have not received anything yet. What the mover of the motion is appealing or suggesting is that let them suspend the increase in the price hike. Let government bring up policies or programs that can alleviate the sufferings of Nigerians. After that, then Nigerians can if they like, they can increase it, but you cannot pay somebody 50,000 and he'll be paying more than 50,000 a month as electricity. We have to look at this and appeal to all our colleagues to allow this motion to go. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you for your contribution. Honorable Bago.
I represent.
Please make it brief so that we can have other people
I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from Jere Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important motion to the common man, particularly looking at the situation we are in the country. If you look at the distribution entirely, today the GENCO gives out the electricity to embed at the cost of 26 naira. But what's the end point? We are receiving a kilowatt of electricity in our respective homes and businesses. So therefore, Mr. Speaker, it's not an issue that we'll even discuss. Today, all of us will bear witness that our constituencies requested or request always for transformers, even to take electricity from rural villages. The investment in the distribution sector was very poor. That's why today there are huge amount of electricity dumped by the GENCO in embed. You can find out how much the GENCO is owing the embed because the distribution companies are not even prepared to take the electricity, even metering. So the investment they made in this sector was poor. Therefore, there is no reason to just wake up over the night and to increase the tariff without proper interface between the committees and the actors in the industry. So therefore, I want to make it clear, if they want to increase the tariff to Nigerians, let them improve their facility, let them invest in their respective companies, because from the then privatization of the distribution company, I am very much clear that they have not invested 10% of what they have received from the government from then to date. So therefore, I am totally in support of this motion not to increase without proper planning to make sure that we know what is coming from the generation to transmission and what they are receiving and what is government is receiving as tax, so that at the end of the day, this energy will help the Nigerian government, particularly the new administration, to determine whatever palliative they want to do to invest in the energy sector of this country. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity.
The Committee on Power once constituted. Voices spoke against. And I'm sure we have gotten enough people speaking for and those speaking against. But what I want to say is that the mover of the motion has the right of reply. Do you want to exercise your right of reply, or are you okay for us to put the question? I want to put the question. Those in support of this motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. The Committee on Power once constituted. Voices spoke against. And I'm sure we have gotten enough people speaking for and and those speaking against. But what I want to say is that the mover of the motion has the right of reply. Do you want to exercise your right of reply, or are you okay for us to put the question? I want to put the question. Those in support of this motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.